Okay.
So, who here likes video games, plays video games?
Oh,
Thinks they're awesome?
especially those.
You've played Angry Birds on your phone? Yes. Okay.
It's called a role-playing game.
What's the difference between something on like your Xbox or PlayStation compared to something on your phone? Like, what classifies them as different?
Portability.
Portability.
System games are more like in-depth experiences, while like on the phone you're just kind of playing just to mess around. You don't really like get into the game or anything.
Okay. And then looking at it from a music perspective, what's the difference between something that's on your phone and something that you could have on your TV? Cheaper. Sometimes.
In-game gaming, you're saying kind of throwing like Left 4 Dead, they actually had like a horror element where they would have like a certain like music playing whenever like some really bad was about to happen, you would have to get swamped by zombies.
Okay, so it could be more thematic, encompassing.
I'm not the most game-wise person, but I know with on your phone it's more like an addicting little themes that they play, and with bigger video games they're more like symphonies and they have larger themes and it's more
Cinematic.
yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have a theory as to why this might be? Like, why would something on your phone that's 99 cents that you can just go iTunes? Oh, I like that. Boop. Okay, there it is. Compared to a $60 game such as Skyrim or Call of Duty or Uncharted. Like, why would those have more cinematic score? I haven't heard from you yet today.
Well, I'm pretty sure if you buy a 99 cents game on your phone, you're not gonna play like as much as Skyrim. Because like there's a lot more language content.
Candy Crush adds 50 levels like every week. I'm just saying.
It's Candy Crush.
It is Candy Crush, but they add levels every week. So that is a good point. Aiden, I saw your hand up.
Oh yeah, there's more time and graphics and engineering put into video games that they actually commercially sell for systems, rather than just basic like mini games that they put on your phone. And so normally when you buy a system game, you expect it to be that good, and you sit down and you play it for hours, where you get a 99-cent game on your phone just so like if you have nothing to do, you can play it while you're like waiting in a line, or you're just like hanging out with someone and don't want to listen to them talk.
Okay. So a lot of people in the video game industry are saying that they're wanting games they're going more cinematic, they're becoming more of like an encompassing experience. So like, you know how the Batman movies, like that music, you hear it, oh, that's Batman. You watch the movie with the sound off, you're like, okay, they're running, fighting, it doesn't catch you as much. So why do you think that they've gone away from these little catchy tunes, or like the Mario theme song, like where it's kind of like 8-bit, like do 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 do, woo, it has all those 8-bit, 16-bit. Why do you think they've gone more towards a movie score situation? It engages the person more.
It's me, people's demands, like they want a more game that grabs and pulls them in. They connect to people.
Okay.
It's very stylistic, like it has to be relevant to the theme of the video game that you're playing, and it's also based on the situations and like the relevance of what's actually happening inside the game. Like if you're playing like a kind of like a medieval game, you could have some epics in there, some like old school like singing and cool loud sounds while you're playing. Yeah, like chivalry type stuff. But you could have like different. It just depends on what kind of game there is, and they put a lot of time into it too.
Okay, so there's this small medieval game called Skyrim. Has anyone heard of it besides Michael? You've heard of it? Has anyone who's played it who's heard of it? Okay. So that game, in its first month when it launched, so it was about 8 days from when it launched to the end of the month. Does anyone have a guess on how many copies it sold in about 8 to 10 days? 8 million, 2 million, 10 million? It's sold. It's up to 10 million now, and in its first 8 days, it's sold 500,000 copies.
That's not a lot of people.
That's not a lot of people, but to put that in perspective, a game that released earlier this year, Grand Theft Auto, sold 1 million copies in 24 hours.
Oh my god.
So there is a high demand. The Skyrim score spans 4 discs. Has, if you put it in iTunes, it's 2.1 days worth of music, which is a lot of music. And it's also, like, all the scores for all those games, they're up to number 5 now. Have been written by the same guy, so it has a similar theme. So before I play it for you, so it's a medieval game. For those of us who haven't played it that much, what do you think the music's going to sound like? Have you played it before?
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you haven't played it, what do you think it's going to sound? So it's a medieval game, knights, castles.
It's gonna sound. There's a couple parts that are gonna sound like really dark, and then there's gonna something like that. Like I haven't played the game in a while.
Okay.
I haven't played the game in a while. Action, kind of sad. Most of the time.
All right. Does anyone over here have a guess? Probably scary sounding. Okay. So let's listen just for a little bit, and let's see how correct you all were. Okay, so that's about half of it. So now that we've heard it, were our predictions correct? Were they different? Someone who's like, that's the first time I've heard that, based off of what everyone else was saying. Was that what you imagined?
I thought it was more gripping than I thought it would be. I thought it was just more like gesture music. That was actually kind of like we're going to war.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, played the game. Anybody else who had that was the first time they've heard it? Happy or fun? It was a little darker. Okay. You else have you want to say something? Okay, it was a lot cooler than you expected it to be.
I guess it's not like happy sound. It's like the phone games. It's like gets the people like ready to go. Sounds like yeah.
Okay. So, does anyone who's actually played the game want to give us like what is it about, or like a quick hold on, a quick plot synopsis? Aiden?
So basically, all these dragons were being bad. It's They wanted to kill them all.
Basically.
Except one dragon lived that's a real jerk, and he started bringing all the dragons back to life. And so you can speak dragon, and you have to like work with these people and then talk to the dragon and end up killing him in the end of the game.
Wait. So now that we know that's what the plot, like that's the game, like there's dragons, what they were singing was dragon, like they based the lyrics off of the in-game dialogue. Does that theme fit the overall umbrella?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. There is so much more to it. We could. There is so much. So now that we know, like very cinematic. Oh, okay. If there's this small game called Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It was one of the most anticipated games of 2009. And they brought on this little-known composer called Hans Zimmer. You've probably never heard of him. Anyone know what he's done? Probably never heard his music before at all.
Movie?
What movie? He did all 3 Christopher Nolan Batmans. Anyone seen The Lion King? He did the score to Lion King. He did the Sherlock Holmes movies. He did all 4 Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He did Last Samurai. He did the Inception music. It actually is very hard. What's that? Last Samurai?
Oh.
He did the Tom Cruise.
It's like a cartoon.
Oh, really?
It's on Netflix.
Wait, but the guy's not black.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Okay. So now that we know some of the other work he's done, if I was to play you the Modern Warfare 2 theme, just telling you it's Hans Zimmer, what do you think it will sound like? Epic? Big bass in the background. You haven't seen it? Okay, so basic guess off the line, please. He still wrote it. Very loud and exciting. It's the opening credits.
Oh, okay. That one.
That was fun?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so we have Hans Zimmer. We're expecting lots of bass, big epicness, exciting. For those of us who haven't heard it yet, that's what we're going off of.
It's the FNG, sir. What the hell kind of name is Soule? Nikolai's in hell right now. We're gonna walk him out. We take care of our friends.
melody on in the background as they're showing the credits. So that's what kind of like the voiceover part was. But with the voiceover and the music, what kind of feeling do we get from that? Flashback. Okay. Intense. Epic. Heroic. Okay. Do any of the three of you have anything that you want to say? I see you giggling. Okay. So, based off of the game, that it sounds heroic. We have the voiceover work. It's called Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. What do we think the game is about?
Shoot people and they die.
Shoot people, save the world. So
Except
does
that one mission in the airport.
How modern is it?
2005. So my question now is, did the music